making myself comfortable. Okay.
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 I think mine is okay too. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Nervous.
Nervous. Why? I think. I mean, you don't do this often. You being
I do it often, but macam it depends on what the topics are lah. What the topics are being discussed lah.
Okay.
Sebab some of the interviews that I've been like they say like, oh, I'm from the Star, so like I know what they're going to talk about and the surface level of what they're going to talk about. So it's very rarely like the deep dive kind of interviews.
Right.
Even if they go deep dive, ada like before this, I forgot his name, but he went deep dive. So I was talking about like all my suicidal thoughts apa semua tu, and it was fine. He published like the whole thing.
You were suicidal.
Yeah.
Hey, gang.
Gang.
Okay, let's start.
Okay.
Hey, what's up? You're watching the Sip show. Ate and Ahmad couldn't be here. They're your biggest fans.
Oh.
They're like, I will kill you. I'm not in KL and you're doing this.
Zoom call.
So hi Ate.
Hi.
Takahara Suiko.
Yes.
Not the other way around.
Actually, because it's a quote-unquote fake Japanese name. So with Japanese names, the family name comes first. Takahara. Suiko is the first name lah.
Okay.
And why I use a Japanese name? It came around like when I was 13, 2003. I think like.
So you're not Japanese?
I'm not Japanese. People thought I'm Japanese because I look like
Japanese. So
Japanese.
that was the joke in Imaginal?
Yes. The actual joke, yes.
So
I'm not
what's
Japanese.
this? Okay. Cita.
So the name came about because somewhere when I was 12 or 13, lebih kurang. Do you know MIRC?
That was your what?
Kan.
Okay.
We are at that age. MIRC.
Alright.
So MIRC, I was 12 or 13, and then I sort of like revealed my age, and I don't know if I revealed my name or not, but I was sexually harassed in one of the chat rooms. So I was like. But I didn't know it was harassment because I was like just like I thought this guy was just like cari gaduh but the way he was talking about things were very explicit, but people were just like macam chat rooms, right? People don't know like it's harassment at that time. It was like 2002, 2003. So after that, I feel like I decided, okay, I think I need an online persona that I can just like hide behind.
So you were using a real name back then?
I wasn't using my real name. I mean, people would use like silly chat room names lah. Okay. But still, if people ask me my real name, I wouldn't tell lah. And I sort of learned from my brother as well, who is very tech savvy, like to not like reveal your personal details online. And this was like back early on before internet was a huge thing. Right? So I learned that very early on, and I think it has helped me like develop this persona where I get to use everywhere I go to this day. Like macam there's a separation between Taka and my real self. They are both the same people. Okay. They have the same personalities. But whenever I go back home to my parents, they would call me like adik, tolong, those kind of things. So like no matter how I always see it like this, like no matter how famous Taka gets in the World Wide Web or like throughout the world pun, if I go back to my home, they won't call me Taka, they will call me adik or my name lah. So that separation I think helps like put a divide between my sanity and not getting the fame to my head, if that makes sense.
So you handled these sexual harassment online after that? Was it after you changed your name?
It was before.
Like after you changed your name, did it happen again, or did you find this energy to like fuck you?
Oh, I think the fuck you energy came around. It has nothing to do with the online persona. It has something to do with how I think around when I was 17 or 18, I noticed that people or myself, wherever we go somewhere, we have a certain attire that we stick to. Like, I remember when I go to malls, I would wear like sneakers, cargo pants, and long sleeves. When I go to kenduri, I would wear like baju kurung. When I go to the mall, the mall lain, grocery lain. I have like different attires for different occasions. And I was like, who would really care if I actually wear baju tidur, kaftan, baju kelawar to the mall? Who would care? Like, no one would care because everyone is thinking about themselves. And even if they do see, Mina tu pakai baju kelawar pergi mall, they wouldn't think too much about it. Like, they would only think about me for like max 5 minutes, and then they go about their day. So since that point on, I decided to just like, fuck it, not give a fuck. My not giving a fuck attitude started around there when I decided to just like, I'm going to go to the mall wearing baju tidur, and that's what I did.
It's weird how I feel like we think almost the same. My cousins and I would go out lepak in KK, and I wouldn't just dress up, and they'll be like, kita keluar pergi kedai ni, cakap, like, yalah kedai saja. So like, apalah, like, there's nothing. So when we went to college, we're in KL, kononnya, like upgrade, and we're going out KLCC apa semua, and still I don't want to dress up. And they're like, ui, KK boleh lah, ini KL lah. Like,
Faham.
peduli lah, like, lantak lah, pakai apa pun. And I had that idea, like, but I think I put it onto myself, like, I'm not important. You're nothing. And people here, like KL folks, like orang penting, orang atas. I imagine it that way. I think this is a Sabahan thing, you know. And these KL, they don't see you like them. So kau peduli apa, kau mau bergaya ke, kau mau pakai apa pun, like mampus kau lah.
Interesting. Okay.
So now I'm like, I think I have that, like, lantak lah, pakailah apa pun. I mean, sometimes I dress up lah, just to make myself feel good.
Yeah. I mean, we have those days, right?
Yeah. Okay. How was childhood?
I think I cannot run away from talking about bipolar without talking about my childhood. It's like it's very closely tied because, and I know my sister. I'm the bongsu of three siblings. So I have my sister, 9 years older, 81. My sister 1981. My brother 87. I'm 90. So I'm 33 this year. And being the youngest, we all, like being the eldest, middle child, and youngest. There's always the trials and tribulations of being each and every one of those itulah part of the siblings. Like, eldest sister has to be this, that, middle, blah blah blah, and I have my own conflicts lah. And one of them is being bullied by my siblings, but also like I felt like I was a black sheep of the family, and no one's listening to me because I'm the youngest. Like, you're too young to understand this. We're talking, like the adults are talking, sort of. Like macam when my brother was going through PMR, I was going through UPSR.
Okay.
So everyone was focusing on, like, my sister would advise my brother about PMR. Okay, you should do this, that, and my mom and dad would like focus on PMR, and then like, UPSR je. Like, I mean, it's still important to them, but like PMR dengan UPSR, which one is like carries more weight, right? Yeah, you'll be okay. I know you can do it, but you have to get 5 A's lah. So like, you still have that tiger parenting going on. But so I always felt like excluded in family dinners. So that's why as I grow up, like, I notice, like, nowadays I don't really like going to family dinners at home. Whenever there's a dinner at home, like, macam I don't eat dinner because I know they would talk about these things almost. Now, I mean, everyone's an adult now, but they all have kids and I don't, and I'm divorced some more. So macam that kind of exclusion, like just feeling like I'm the black sheep of the family. I think that sort of like developed my Bible, because I asked my therapist like macam, is it hereditary or is it developed? I think and based on the things that I've told my therapist, what she said, like it's probably developed because of what you've experienced, because you felt invisible, like you felt like you were not heard, so you have that waves of emotions getting higher and lower as time goes by. So you develop like manic phases and depressive phases. Yeah, so that's my childhood. Like it's not like physically abusive apa. I wouldn't say emotionally abusive either. It's just absent. Like my parents wanted to work hard so that they can give the children the best, and they did. But that
And you
void,
understood that. And you understood that situation going on.
Because that's what they've been telling me. But I think like any child in the world would like to have their parents being present during their growth while they're growing up and during their childhood. So because I noticed like my partner has a very their parents are very present, like physically present, even though like sometimes like the parents don't care, like tak apalah, you get like D or you fail your class, it's okay. But they're very like encouraging in a way. And I noticed like how they grew up now is very different from how I grew up. Like I grew up like always comparing myself to other people and feel like I'm not enough. Whereas my partner, they're like I can do this myself. They don't compare themselves to anyone else because their parents just like in a way lepas tangan, but also at the same time macam lepas tangan, but also at the same time macam celebrate, like you get like a B, okay, let's makan KFC, whereas with me like 8 A's, that's not enough, you need to get like 10 A's. So that kind of
Were you compared with anyone else?
Oh, all the time. All the time. With my sister, with like budak-budak kelas. Macam kenapa dapat nombor 32, kenapa dapat 36, why can't you get this? It's and I thought that was normal. I feel like after like discussing with my partner about this thing, I feel like they did tell me like it's a common thing, at least in cities. Macam where we have tuition, like at the early age, or if you think about it, at the early age of darjah 3, like 9 years old, you're supposed to still play around, but you get sent to tuition, you get sent to Kumon. Kumon is like macam hardcore punya tuition. And again, I don't deny that I'm very privileged, but instead of spending time at home with my family, I get sent to tuition this, tuition that. Macam it's just like studying all the time. It's not bad. Again, it's not bad, but that's itulah.
Input skit.
Okay.
I mean, we just duduk and talk, and yet I feel like I am talking to a version of me. Like seriously, this is scary.
You went through the same thing?
Almost everything that you said until now, I kind of like experienced that in my own way.
Ooh.
Like grades. Parents would say like, why can't you be more like your cousins?
Yes.
Yes. Why they can do this?
Why they can do this, they can do that?
Yeah. Why can't you? Like, and what I guess what hurts me the most is like when it's family gatherings, family dinners.
Yes.
And then they're like, hey, anak ko berapa A?
Oh!
So you heard that? You heard that?
Yeah.
How many A's you got? None. Like, at UPSR point, I just didn't give a shit. I didn't care. Like, who gets all the A's? Oh, not me, my cousins. They can get it for me. Like, I didn't care anymore. And I guess the grades are not what hurt me the most. It's like my parents, they weren't there to back me up, or they mungkin
Yes.
they were not there to like it's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, they're like, you're retarded, you're stupid, you're
Oh,
those kind of
man.
words. And I grew up in the 80s, and this is like kau kena panggil bodoh like suka hati.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no like,
yeah.
oh, you should talk like this. There's no like,
Gentle parenting.
no,
Yeah.
none.
Yeah, none.
That does not exist. So I'm like, now I'm like, I exclude myself from dinners, even my family. And after we got kids, we talk. I talk a lot with my wife, and we try to. I try to force myself to like, okay, this is a family dinner, and I need to be there because I'm sort of like the family ketua keluarga sudah kan. So I'm
Is
like,
the eldest?
I'm the eldest.
Okay.
Now I'm the husband. Now I'm the husband man. And it was hard for me at first, and then now it's like starting to be normal, and I try to make the dinner table as gentle as possible. And if I need to like kasih sound sikit my anak-anak, then I do it not there,
Not there.
like somewhere else. Like
Faham?
it cannot have these optics. Like
Faham?
every time you look at a dinner table kan, you visualize yang kena lecture, kena compare, these kind of things. And
If I were
Okay.
to add on that yang kena lecture tu, my parents still do that to their grandkids. I'm like, so that's why I sometimes feel like I need, even though I hate those dinners, I have to go because who else is going to protect my nieces and nephews?
Oh, you're the cool auntie.
I'm trying to be the cool auntie, like macam, you know, whatever mindset you have, I will support. I will try to support, and you know, whatever questions you have, you can ask me. Also at the same time, if your parents ever say things like, oh, you have to get A, macam, no, you are not allowed to say that. I am the proof of what happened, so do not encourage that. And then I'm seeing, like, whenever I see like my niece or my sister's daughter, like she has very, her personality is very similar to mine. So I'm like, macam, okay, I'm noticing things that I used to feel when I was younger, when I was at her age. So okay, I need to, you know, I need to protect her at all costs, or even protect her brother at all costs. Even though kadang-kadang abang dia bully dia, but abang dia bully dia sebab macam he's you know, the things that he
I think
experienced at school.
when it's siblings, it's
Yeah.
some kind of a bonding.
It
Memang
is
dia
a
benci time
bonding.
tu lah, but
No, but also at the same time, like it can be like crippling tau. Like macam,
True.
you know, the brother, there's always gentle parenting, and when you gentle parent your children, it will start with the first child, and the first child will be carrying towards a younger and a younger. And, you know, it's reciprocative. This is what I see on TikTok. Like there's a gentle parent that macam gentle parent the elder brother and then the younger brother. Even walaupun dua-dua tu cari pasal, but they're like macam, oh, I don't like this brother. Like my brother's children, they are very like vocal with each other. Like kalau dia yang kecil ni tak suka, dia beritahu abang dia. Abang ni tak suka, dia beritahu adik dia. So macam I see like how different my brother and his wife brought up the kids. Probably because of the wife lah. Could be. Because the wife is the bongsu in a way. So like when I see my sister's way of bringing up her children, it's like I notice like some influence from my parents, and I'm like, okay, we gotta stop that. We gotta limit that way of interacting with the younger generation, because I don't want the trauma to continue. I want the trauma to stop. So sometimes when my parents do that, I call them out. I have the voice to call them out now, and because my therapist has taught me to basically be the older, like to heal my past trauma. The adult version of me is basically protecting myself in the past. So that's how I heal it in a way. And then I continue that journey with my nieces and nephews because I'm not gonna have kids. I don't want to have kids except cats. So
Understand.
yeah, itulah.
How was the reaction of your parents when you called them out? Because this is very un-Asian.
Kan?
I experienced that too. But do
I-
they like menjawab?
Oh, I think they're more mellow. The fact that as they get older, they're more mellow. But also dia macam it's a balance. It's a tightrope punya balance between there are like 6 to 8 year old niece and nephew there kan, and then there's a 11, 14-year-old punya niece and nephew.
Okay.
So the tightrope is the grandparents ada dia punya mood when they're reacting to the younger ones tau. Dia macam they are softer with them. Tapi they're trying to like sort of like scold the teens, the pre-teens. So when I call them out, they're like macam oh tak adalah. Tak bukan macam tu. Yeah, but I think they sort of like see it as a not really a joke, but they know they're wrong. But macam they accept Achu is just like Achu is calling me out, but at the same time macam mana? How do I put it?
They're like, I think I understand this.
It's hard to okay, but also
I
okay.
mean it, but now I have to say I don't mean it.
Like they're not gonna scold me now because I'm an adult. I think that's in a way macam it helps. Like they're not gonna scold me because I'm not gonna listen anymore because I'm an adult. But the kids will listen. Both the 4 kids of different age group will listen. So they have to react a proper way lah because Achu called them out, these elder generations out. So macam they're gonna see Achu and mak-mak and atuk, how they react to this particular issue or situation. But also I think what helps was I had a phase where I was like very close to my mom. So that helped me in like macam develop this relationship where I can say to her lah whatever I want to say. So that particular phase of my life, like around 5-10 years ago, where I was like close to my mom, that helped me in like macam calling her out. Macam, okay, we shouldn't. But I think my mom also tries to apa ni, macam knowing that her daughter has bipolar, and we all discovered this when I was 30, 3 years ago, 2020, because I got diagnosed finally, and then I told them. So that is when my mom, I think she started to like read more about things like this and that.
That's nice. It's new for me to hear a daughter is close to the mom. Usually I would hear like daughters with the fathers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like me and my daughter and a lot of my cousins. They're always going to the.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter is 8. Masih kecil lagi.
Masih kecil lagi. Kecil lagi. Okay. Nanti bila dah tua mungkin she's close to mom.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe because of the conversations, kan?
Yes.
But I still see my cousins lah, the older ones, and sorry.
Atau apa?
The older ones they interact better with berlainan jantina lah. Like the sons with the moms. It's always like the membawang session lah. Membawang your dad, membawang your mom.
Yeah.
You mentioned about suicidal
Thoughts.
thoughts, not tendencies.
No, I've never.
Okay.
Because I think those kind of the ones where you have to harm yourself is very painful and slow.
I have dinner later. I cannot do like this.
No, because I think the kind of thoughts that I have are more like instant ones, where like I'm driving.
We're not belittling people with suicidal
Yes,
tendencies.
we're not belittling people. I'm just saying I would prefer to go on faster instantly.
I mean, not that we're encouraging that.
They're like, no, we're not encouraging that.
Okay.
So
Thoughts?
macam like I was like driving on a highway at a speed that I'm not gonna say what speed because got speed limits. I cannot say. You know what it means. And I was like, oh, lorry. You know, it feels like I can just do that.
This triggering.
And it's very instant. Like, oh, okay, you know, it's easy. It's easier than to like drain. Because draining takes time, and even like taking meds will take time for it to take effect. All those things, all the other things, it takes time. Like even jumping takes time. If you think about it, you have to climb and then all the way down. I shouldn't be talking about this, but you get what I mean.
I know, I understand.
If it can be instant.
I heard this comedian on Spotify, and I think it was a lady, and she was saying like people who commit suicide have like a brave people.
Yes, they are very
like
brave.
borderline brave and crazy lah.
Yeah,
And I mean, those things hurts, and they know it hurts, but it's like this might heal me from this pain. So okay, we did this lawak tu hilang sudah lah, but this is like a serious note lah. And that can heal me, but healing is like you dying lah.
yes.
When you said swerving the car, have you personally experienced that?
Like
Or it's
on
just
purpose?
thoughts? Yeah.
On purpose, no.
But you've
But it's like very
thought about
close to it. It can be so easy. Just I was going very fast. It can be just
But that act, did you control it? Or did it happen just by itself? Like, yeah, maybe I'll do this.
I mean, I haven't done it lah. If not, I would be because it can literally be that. Like if I at that time, at those many times that I decided to, then I wouldn't be here. It's that easy. So like, I have my specific way of unaliving myself, which is it has to be instant.
I told these stories on one of the previous episodes. It was I was driving through a traffic light, hijau lah, and I was like, because the cars are like that, kan, and I'm like, what if I just head-on collision with another car?
Yeah, something like that.
And if I'm not wearing my safety belt, I can like fly throughout, like out the window, the windscreen, and probably I can just hit the road and die. At that moment, I was driving. You know how you tie your shoelace and you don't realize it? I was opening my seat belt.
Ooh.
And I was like, sudah buka kan, then you hear the click kan, and then I'm like terkejut lah. Like, shit, I need help. So I came home. The more I think of it kan, like nangis lah. So I talked to my wife. I said, I think I have a problem. I think it's coming back. Like before that, I was raped when I was 12.
Oh shit.
So it was a bad part of my life lah. And I guess once I finish, I mean during college, I like to stand on edges of buildings. I love the sight of sadistic kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like this is okay, this is cool. And
Like, it's okay if I fall. Kan?
Yeah.
Macam,
Yeah.
oh, okay good.
My only worry was I don't have a plastic bag to wrap my head in. So yeah, after that incident kan, memang I noticed all these suicidal thoughts. And after college, it was okay. And then I guess I fell in love with my now wife lah. And it was like, Jojo, sini lah. Anyway, it was okay for a bit. I guess that time I mungkin like hutang marah, I have to pay this, to pay that, and then just moved into the house. All these life stress, and
Adulting.
yeah. And that happened. Like why like this? So it's weird lah. Going back to you on these things, how do you cope? Is it gone? Or do you want to talk about this?
Not as I don't mind talking about it. I would say I have phases of it. Macam I noticed like the worst phase I had was when I was studying in Japan. That was 10 years ago. I was like, and it's so easy to off yourself in Japan because the trains are very fast. There's even a famous line. I always tell people this. I think it's true. So Japan is notorious for being very on time in the trains. Like if they're leaving at 10:37, they will leave on the dot 10:37. So kalau terlepas, I won't wait for you even 1 minute. But if there's no weather effects macam rain ke or snowing ke, but it delays for like 2 hours, that means someone committed suicide and they had to clean up the whole thing. So there's this famous line in Tokyo called KEIO line, KEIO line. It's famous for itulah people committing were there. So kalau ada 2 hour delay tu, usually it's that. Kalau macam cuaca cerah, lepas tu ada 2 hour delay, it's because of that.
And this is frequent.
It's very frequent. At least 10 years ago lah. I don't know how it is now, but I think it's just as bad. Just as bad because it's because they have this it's in the culture, the samurai culture, like pride, right? If you cannot bring home money for your family, you are being seen as a disgrace. So that's why most of them are either homeless or like if they're tired of being homeless, they just like off themselves. But they couldn't bear, bringing shame to their family. So that apa? I don't know, samurai pride or seppuku, seppuku kan, where samurai just like, I bring disgrace to the family, and so instead of doing that, just like jump off into the train tracks. So I think if I continue studying that, because I finished my diploma, and usually after finishing diploma, you can continue 2 years of degree. But I told my mom I couldn't take it. I just have to go back, or else I wouldn't be there. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be in this world if I continue. So I decided to go back lah. And then my second like heavy bouts of depression definitely came around pandemic lah. I think a lot of people went through that. This one was really bad because I was crying non-stop for 3 weeks straight, every day, crying, bangun nangis. It was just like
during the lockdown.
During the lockdown, sometime June, and then I told my then husband, I said like, okay, if I cry again tomorrow, I think I need to go. I need to go to the doctor and seek professional help. I thought I had depression. Turns out I have bipolar. So it's like, oh, interesting. Because I thought it was just like, because the question that the doctor asked was, do you have like some symptoms? For example, do you feel like suicidal? And then do you feel like you're shopping excessively? Do you feel like horny at sometimes? Do you feel like you have a superpower, like you're better than everyone else at some point? So based on those questions, like they get to deduce, okay, you have bipolar, because bipolar has like some symptoms when you're in your hypomanic phase, yang atas tu, which is when you are horny as fuck, you shop excessively, you feel like you're better than everyone else, you can like not sleep for days. And then there's a depressive side where you can't even wake up, you can't even like bangun from bed, you can't do shit. You feel like you wanna, off yourself. So that bouts, that cycle, I thought that was my monthly cycle.
Oh.
Because it really coincide with my monthly cycle. Rupa-rupanya is my bipolar cycle. And the second doctor that I went to, my second psychiatrist, she also diagnosed I have bipolar. And my therapist also told me I have bipolar. So like 3 doctors already said I have bipolar, so I definitely have bipolar. Type 2. So type 2 is when the depressive state is longer than the 2. The high state is like 3-4 days or a week, and then the depressive state can go for months. So my second doctor, my current doctor lah, dekat hospital, general hospital. I told her like, oh, I actually feel like my bipolar cycle is synced to my menstrual cycle, and I said, oh, actually that's not normal. You actually do have bipolar. So, oh, okay, interesting. Because all this while I thought that was my menstrual cycle, like PMS apa semua tu kan. It's actually my bipolar cycle.
So do you take meds?
I do take meds. Thankfully, I do take meds now. Like it has, so it comes in waves, right? It's bipolar because dua polar, 2 poles. So before I take meds, it's like kind of high lah, the drops and the rise. So the roller coaster is high. But since taking meds, it has become like a children's roller coaster lah. So still ada naik turun tu, but not as high as like a adult roller coaster. Dia take meds, dia macam kecil sikit. Normal people, they only have the highs and lows. For example, bila dapat promotion, oh I get the high. So rasa macam nak shopping atau kan. They have trigger points. And then they get depressed when kena buang kerja ke apa kan, kena break dengan partner ke apa kan. So they have those triggers. But bipolar people, like sometimes when tengah lepak-lepak kawan, gelak-gelak tiba macam rasa nak nangis. I felt like, okay, I need to go home. Padahal tengah happy dengan kawan-kawan ni, tiba rasa nak balik. So things like that lah.
So, okay, now you have a career, creative career. And okay, before we go there, let's go, like, how did you exclude yourself sometimes, or during the low parts of this?
How do I exclude myself from the society?
Family? I mean, smaller circle first.
Okay.
Family, friends.
I think
and then you're on social media. Like from what I see, like you don't want attention yet you want attention.
Yeah, faham?
What is that?
What is that?
Yeah.
Maksudnya?
I mean, why do you do this? Do you know why?
Do what?
Like
Social media, is it?
like you say you don't want to like socialize, or is that with just family? And then yet you go to another site and post all these things about you on IG.
Oh, I think there's a apa macam social media. I saw this video from one of the people that I follow, Alok V Menon ke apa kan nama dia. He says something along the lines of social media is actually a freak show. It's a glass where macam the people on social media hides behind a glass, or macam people who are being honest to themselves are being seen as a freak show. So even though I'm being authentic on social media, people see it as, oh, that's just Taka being Taka. We don't really take examples of that. We just see that as a form of entertainment, something like that lah. Because Alok is a very unique person. If I'll show you social media later, but their social media later. But because of that, people see Alok as if you see Alok on social media, it's like, oh my god, Yas Queen kind of vibe. But when you see him in real life, you'd see like he looks like someone that does not belong in the real life. Faham tak? People celebrate people like him. Sorry, people like them, people like me on social media because we're unique, because we're not like like physically tied to them in the real world. Because social media again is a glass. It's literally a glass. It's on a screen, phone. When you meet people like this in real life, you're like, you wouldn't. I feel like most people wouldn't really be able to connect with Alok or me, or people who are out of the ordinary, because macam normal people don't act like that. Normal people don't say their thoughts out loud. Normal people don't criticize the things that they feel need to be criticized in the open, like like sexuality or religion. Because you live in a community, you have to stick to the rules of the community. So
in a way.
So macam I think I am authentic on social media, and whatever I see on social media does reflect how I am in real life.
No doubt, yes.
I just don't show my family for the purpose of privacy, because I'm loud on social media, and because I'm true to what is being shown on social media. Because if I show my family, I feel like I need to have a side of myself that I need to keep, privy to myself only.
True.
Right? Does that make sense?
It does. I see it when you say you do social media for the connection. You want to connect to people, but if you're like Alok lah, you say, if he's out in the open and people see him without the screen, people won't get to connect. But because of the social media platforms, it's easier for you to interact, to connect.
Yes.
And so you don't do it for the attention.
I don't think I do, but sometimes I do crave the attention lah. I think that's why I'm on social media. I think that's why people are on social media. Because if you don't crave for attention, you won't have social media. It's social for a reason. Like if I don't crave social media, if I don't crave attention, I would just write on my journal that no one can see. I would just like,
betul juga.
Kan? I would just like record on my phone and I wouldn't post it anywhere. All my thoughts would just be in my journal and no one else would see, except probably my partner ke tu pun kalau dia nak tengok lah. But everyone craves attention. As soon as they're on social media, they crave attention, even though they say, I don't crave attention.
But I'm happy that you're on social media with all these creative creation.
Oh,
Creative creation.
Gitu.
I feel you're doing a service to society.
Oh.
Some people, they just, I mean, you've seen TikTok.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard for me to find yang mana yang bagus ni ya. Like everyone is doing like trending things. I mean, it's not.
You're on the wrong side of TikTok.
Kan. I need to connect with more people like you. And once you get kan like, okay, I need to like how to connect with people and how to network to see more things
of
like
this
this.
content. Yeah. You have to comment and like and share those kind of videos so that you get the algorithm. It's very annoying, but sometimes how I do it is I just search in my search box lah. Macam, okay, I want this content, like Israel Palestine, right? And then I just Google and then I search for videos that I feel like, okay, I think this would reflect my views, so I'm just gonna watch that video, and then after that they will like sort of like get the hint. It's gonna be tough. TikTok, I don't really like TikTok nowadays because it's it used to be fun in terms of the kind of algorithm that I get are very on point, but now it's like I get the kind of algorithm that suits me as a human being, which is scary. But now it's I guess it's a healthy mix. Like they're trying to throw in everything that is around me. Macam like people, for example lah, I'm very spiritually and religiously, and the kind of contents that I want to see are non-sexist, non-homophobic, non-blah blah blah. But because the people around me, around my location, are of that kind, so they sometimes feed me with that kind of content. You get what I mean? It's the contents are almost like based on my geolocation, gitu. Like the target is based on the market around me. So that's when I'm like, I'm not a fan of this. Even though I don't turn on my my GPS tu kan. I don't turn on my phone except when I'm using Google Maps. Tapi kadang dia still hantar, so okay lah. So just swipe until I feel okay, this I can fuck with, okay.
I went to this workshop on social media. The guy who conducted he's in a political party now. So, but yeah, he's a friend. So we saw this video of this guy. No. It's our speaker. So he went to Mongolia. So he turned off his phone because there's no roaming. And he went around lah. Pergi this restaurant, pergi visit some places, and then stayed a few days, and came back to the hotel where he wants to go back to Malaysia. Went to the same restaurant, came back here, and then he turned on something like a history of his visits. And those places where he turned off his GPS had all the data of where he went and what time and how long he stayed.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
But I'm not
Conspiracy theories.
I'm not surprised because it's literally just the program says you're turning off the thing, right? But in actuality, it could still be running all the time. Because ni tau, I think why it's like running in the background also as well, because macam there's the emergency punya function, at least in Samsung lah, you can press the power button 5 times and it will call SOS, send your location, and call your immediate like emergency contacts. So I think it will always be running, no matter like tutup lah benda tu pun, it won't fully close.
I saw this documentary in Netflix. Pasal tu, it was quite a trend back then. Like, this is what we see, and then this is what they see.
Yes.
And these people are watching you, your eyeball movements.
Yes.
And I'm like, what? And I tried it. Like if you're scrolling in Shopee, and you stop to see microphones, and then you scroll again and you stop to see another microphone, and then suddenly your Facebook, Instagram, semua microphone punya iklan. Like, what is this? That's scrolling lah. Eyeball, I'm not sure how.
Tapi yang borak-borak tu, you know, right?
How?
Like for example, right now we're talking, my phone and your phone is here.
Close.
Then suddenly we talk about postcards. Tiba-tiba nanti Shopee akan keluarkan postcard. Kita tak search pun. For example, macam like we say, I think I need to buy, you know, some tea bags, like Cameron tea bags. Nanti tiba keluar kat Shopee tea bags. Sometimes lah. So that one you need to turn off. Turn off ni pun macam boleh jadi dia tak fully turn off pun. Like targeted ads, targeted ads, like in Google punya setting, account setting, you can turn off targeted ads. But tu pun just to like throw you off the scent. They're still tracking you regardless. Targeted ad is just like to sort of like read your mind before you think about it. Okay. Welcome to the digital world.
Suicidal, pergi Google I wanted to talk about the Israel-Palestine content, not the issue itself. The issue is fucked up lah. I mean, we don't touch there lah. It's gonna open
it's another week.
But what's happening
of episodes?
these few days I see in Malaysia is like, first they were talking about the issue, the conflict or non-conflict there, and then tiba-tiba like they're riding on the trend, like everyone wants to talk about that, and then people who are, how you say, lambat sikit, their contents are about those people who are talking or not talking about the issue.
Yes.
And now it's that.
Okay.
I'm like, ini are you really fighting for this, or are you like saja mau ride on the trends? And I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, everything is content. Still, everything is content. Even though, how you say? Basically, it's just people being opportunistic lah. And I was in Central Market, I think that day when they had the rally. So I saw a few postings lah. Like, if you're in the rally, but you feel like this about the Bangladeshis, the Rohingya, the Nepali people. If you feel that certain way, please remove yourself from the rally, because you're being the people that you hate. And I'm like, yay. And one more thing is like, I know these people cari makan lah, but you see all these tudung, scarf, bendera, the balloons. Oh my god, balloons for kids.
Balloons for kids.
And
damn.
The it's printed lah kan, with flags and quotes, and I'm like, is it a business now? Because if you really want to spend money, then send it to donations lah. Bukan spend money in solidarity tapi beli merchandise. I'm sorry, I know you guys cari makan, and this is a very kecamable issue, but seriously, you want to spend money, mesti Malaysia
send directly lah
kan? Betul.
I think they have been doing that. I know where you're coming from. Like macam
I don't see these things a lot in Sabah. And here is like, oh, you mau pergi rally, you have to have this.
Oh,
you
like the whole get up, right?
Yeah. Like, no, you don't have to. You just have to be there.
Yeah.
I mean,
be there, have a placard. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't have to wear. I mean, I understand macam contohnya bersih, right? Where everyone was wearing yellow, and some people do have like the bersih shirt, but you can also wear yellow. If the people who sold the bersih shirts, right, the money 100% goes to,
okay lah,
100% goes to the cause. Then, and it is stated that whatever money that we get from this, the selling of this merchandise goes to the cause, then okay. So it's really macam you kind of have to be, as a consumer also, if you want to buy those scarves, you got to be aware that who are you buying it from. If you're really supporting the cause, then the person that you're buying it from, dia memang cakap 100% cost goes to 100% proceeds goes to whatever lah. Macam contohnya Vivi Yusof, dia kata she wants to donate. Yes, she's selling the scarf, but dia kata 100% of the proceeds goes to whatever lah. Yang tu it's really her words against you know, the public. Macam kalau dia kata, kalau korang nak percaya, belilah. Kalau tak nak percaya, then tak payah beli. And Vivi's, I'm not a fan of Vivi Yusof because she has stolen a lot of designs. But on the side of like, bila dia jual tudung tu kan, I understand macam dia cakap jugalah yang I'm selling this tudung, but also at the same time, I'm encouraging you guys to donate directly. You don't have to buy the tudung if you don't want to. This tudung is really for the duckies, the fans of the tudung who wants to help and also show solidarity. Like, you know, in exchange for giving you money that you're gonna send anyway, I get this tudung that I can wear and, you know, show solidarity to wherever I go.
At least ada sikit
At least ada sikit lah disclaimer. So I think the get up is very much it could be a quiet protest as well. Macam I had this someone talked to me about Coldplay punya concert and this upcoming concert, and apa ni ya, the one of the organisation that was handling the volunteers, they showed support for Israel. So this volunteer punya quiet protest was to wear a Palestine punya apa, the scarf tu during the concert nanti. So even though they are working as a volunteer under this pro-Israel organisation, they are still like showing like quiet protest through the clothes. So I understand like that side of people's way of protesting. Cuma I do agree with you yang when it comes to migrant workers, when it comes to Rohingyans coming here, like you don't give the same sympathy. And I noticed that I think I realised there's someone said lah a few years back yang macam people care about Palestinians because they are blue-eyed. They are fair-skinned and blue-eyed. They look mak saleh lah, if you notice. Whereas Rohingyans are dark-skinned. And there's the, you know, Malays really like idolizing white people and the global north. And if Rohingyans look white, we would just give just as much care as we do the Palestinians. If you notice.
I didn't notice that. But I noticed in Sabah, skin color plays a very, very big role. Like, you can be Filipino and you can be undocumented, but if you look in a certain way, you can get
Eurasian
and all these expats.
Don't call them expats. I don't like calling them expats. I like calling them white immigrants because you guys are.
And some of them overstayed. Some of them don't have proper documents.
Yeah.
But still, it's okay. Nanti kau urus lah. But even for locals who don't, yalah, kau tidak cantik, it's optics lah. Then you get it really bad. We have a lot of local Murut people who are detained in the Rumah Merah.
Who are what?
Rumah Merah is like how do you say? Tahanan sementara.
Oh, okay.
Before you get deported. And these people are confused for Filipinos, Indonesians, because they just look like that. So, kesian lah. And
it's reflected in the media as well.
Yes.
I've always noticed, like, why aren't there Indian models on billboards? You either see Chinese or Malay. You don't see Indian. You don't see dark-skinned Indian. Macam, do they not exist? Wait.
And
what the fuck?
And I'm Indian. I'm Malayali.
You're Indian?
Yes.
Indian?
My grandfather is from Kerala.
Oh, okay.
But I'm quarter this, quarter that lah, campur-campur lah.
Lots of mix.
Yeah. So when I was in college, they were looking for housemates from a list of names. So they saw my name.
It is good.
Like what?
Are you okay with this session?
Yeah.
Until now?
This has been fun.
Mau tambah?
Tak apa.
Eeling is like, do you want water?
She's super nice.
Itu Eeling nama dia.
Eeling, yes.
Eeling. Oh.
Thank you, Ilham Gallery gift shop.
Thank you.
Eeling.
Eeling.
For the venue.
drinks, for the venue.
We paid for the drinks because of the venue lah. Sudah kena tolong-tolong lah balik.
Okay.
So
So,
we were looking. They were looking for housemates. I didn't know about these kind of dynamics, racism back then, and then I was like okay with the place. Like you want to. We were in LNG Twin Tech, Sri Damansara, and I was okay with any house that I can stay in. And they were like, "Oh, we need these type of people." So this gang is like, "Oh, his name is Ishwar. Oh, he can lepak with us lah." So they got me in, and then I was assigned to this apartment lah. And then when I came to the group, they're like, "Oh, we're waiting for this guy to come." Oh, I am that guy. And they're like, "But you're not Indian." I'm like, "Yeah, yes and no." So I explained, and they were like, "What is this?" So that was like the first, not to say racism, they're okay. They just, I guess it was just it's just the flow of being in Semenanjung. Like
Yes,
you don't
yes.
really know why you're doing it, but you're doing it. And come another guy, he looks at that time like they call him like Mat Bangla, but he's a Malay from Selayang, so he's my good friend until now, and he still looks like that. And they thought he was Indian, and then dia pergi main-main, mera nam Rahul, and they believed him. He had this ada dia punya slang lah, and they were like, "Oh, okay, you can stay with us in the apartment." And then like, Faizal Bahrom nama dia. Like,
yang paling
Hai,
Melayu
Oja.
nama.
Yeah, and we were like, okay, this house is weird. So after that, people are they feel weird with us because they can say, I mean the Malay gang lah in. I took architecture, so we have a studio, and they're like, kau okay ke tinggal dengan orang macam ni? Like the Indians, like are you sure? Are you sure you guys okay? And they're like, korang Sabah kan? Bumi Putra. Kau Melayu lah tu. No, I'm not Malay. I'm like Murut, Dusun, Indian and Iban. No Malay. But Bumi Putra they say. Bumi Putra Melayu lah. Like, no.
You
I mean, you've been to Sabah, right?
Yeah, I've been once. At the age of 33,
How was it?
literally. Oh, it was nice because my sister and the husband like works there.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Okay.
macam first time lah pergi like KK and then terus pergi Kundasang apa semua tu kan. It's really nice. I really like Sabah. I want to go again.
what were we talking about tadi?
Ni lah racism. But I have a follow up story from your story. Tapi Abi kan cerita dulu.
I'm done.
Dah done?
I'm done.
Okay. It's not surprising. Actually, it's surprising but also not surprising because during my prep school before I go to Japan, there are 40 of us in the class. The teacher asked, out of the 40 the teacher asked, who thinks Bumi Putra is just Malays? Angkat tangan. Who thinks Bumi Putra just Malays? So macam it looks like the whole class was putting their hands up. And then who thinks that Bumi Putra is not just Malays? So there were like 3 of us, including myself. I was like macam, aku ni salah ke tak? Tapi berdasarkan geografi, aku rasa Bumi Putra bukan Melayu je. So like we're talking about if you want to conduct a survey, in that class of 40 already shows like how the mindset of peninsular Malaysia is. like we were brainwashed to think that some of us even thinks that Malaysia is just a semenanjung, Sabah Sarawak is another country in itself.
You
Like,
get that a
wait,
lot.
korang ni
Welcome to Malaysia, like
welcome to
yeah.
Malaysia. Memang Malaysia lah gila. Macam it's that saddening tau. Macam I'm not surprised if like you know how Scotland wants to leave the Great Britain UK kan.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised if Sabah and Sarawak wants independence. I'm like, tolong lah weh. You guys have all the resources, leave. Biarkan kita orang terkapai-kapai. Like we don't need the oil. Like we've been stealing the oil and whatnot, all the resources and shit. Like macam you guys need like independence. Like I don't mind if some Sabahan or Sarawakians have that mindset. Because it's sad to see like macam orang, even to this day, orang still assume like Bumiputera is just Malay. Macam wait, tak doh. Tak doh. Kita ada, I remember doing this like a slideshow to introduce Malaysia to my Japanese peers. So I did like some quote-unquote research lah, tapi through Wikipedia. Like there's like at least like 80 kaum in Malaysia. Like termasuk tu lah macam kaum Iban apa semua tu kan. So like there are at least 80. They're not like 4. Bukan dia macam Melayu, India, Cina, and then dan lain-lain. Dan lain-lain is not a whole kaum. There's like banyak pecahan lagi. You have the Sikhs, you have there's so many in Sabah and Sarawak alone, and you don't even count the kaum asal suku-suku semua tu, orang asal in Peninsula. Kau tak kira yang tu. Even they would consider orang asal not being Bumiputera sometimes.
But
So sedih bodoh.
it's amazing that these people, I won't say ignorant lah. Should I say ignorant? They don't know, and yet they are out loud with this limited information. Then when they heard like a new one, they still don't want to move on with that limited information that they have.
Persistent with being ignorant.
Yeah.
Kau nak ignorant tak apa? At least you don't
Hijrah
know.
lah, hijrah. Dari tidak
But
tahu,
you,
kita tahu.
Macam you know, but you're persistent about being ignorant. Like no, I know what I know.
I see some kind of a same dynamics here. Like the dusun, the kadazan. I don't want to say Iban because I don't really know that kaum. But we have that persistent ignorance thing because we feel like we're better than everyone else. Like my kaum lah. Like apa dia tahu dia Filipino, apa dia tahu dia Indonesian. I want to say, but it's very kecamable. It's very same with the Malays here.
Yeah,
Yeah, the supremacy.
I agree.
Kan?
Malay supremacy. Ketuanan Melayu.
Ketuanan Kadazan. But when you say like keluar from Malaysia, I don't know, is this going to be published? I really wish we had, like, first and foremost, good leaders. I don't see that happening in my lifetime, because we had that chance once when this certain political party tiba-tiba overthrow that time.
Yes.
And then you think that it's going to be good, like
Yeah.
no,
Kan.
all these people like mau makan sendiri, and then you see like, we don't have good leaders.
We don't.
I mean Sabah lah, Sabah don't have. Where we think we can be independent. We think because of the resources, because of the natural and human resources, we have everything, but we just don't have the, I want to say experience. Yalah, leaders lah, we don't have that. Semua pun, I don't want to go into politics lah, but kamu faham lah. Okay, come back to you.
Okay.
your creative process.
Okay.
Now we go into that because sudah adult, sudah soalan budak, sudah keluar. Your creative process, I see you very expressive. You dancing, jumping in your videos.
Oh yes.
Like nobody's business. I'm really happy I can see someone yang berhijab and doing all these things, which is very expressive. Because last time, my understanding, if you sudah bertudung, meaning you have limits. Oh, perempuan mana boleh buat macam ni? You cannot do that, you cannot do this. Why are you doing this? Like even when Yuna came out, I was like, dia orang boleh buat macam ni ya? Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yuna was a pioneer. So.
Yeah. So now I'm doing my research on the mapping project I'm doing in Central Market. Some of my friends introduced me to MIPsters, Muslim hipsters.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So MIPsters. So I'm like, okay, it's funny, but it sounds very serious. And the way they tell the stories about MIPsters, it feels like Harajuku girls, like that. Like it's very kawaii.
Yeah.
And you see all of them like roaming around Central Market doing, I assume, TikTok videos.
Yeah.
Like mana-mana datang ada tripod. And with or without boyfriends or partners, they would have like this large bouquet of flowers jalan-jalan.
Whoosh.
So I was there like a few.
That was nice, huh?
Yeah, it's weird, but I guess that's the style. Coming back to you, how you express yourself. I mean, where do you draw inspiration for that? I mean, it's cliche. It's a very cliche story, but knowing your background, your what you have, your illnesses, your problems. How does this come out from all that?
What is this?
Your songs, your
Okay.
I mean, and even your songs have, when you say bipolar, your music is here and there. Like sekejap dia macam punk, sekejap dia macam very romantic.
Yeah, it goes all over the place, right?
Wait, is there is this linked?
Could be.
Am
But
I-
as you were asking that question, I realized that I've always noticed, and I've always tell people that I don't write love songs because it's cheesy, it's everywhere. You know, it's on the radio all the time, and everyone writes love songs. Who else is writing about, you know, incestuous rape or corruption in the government? Those kind of issues, like social issues, not many people talk about that or write about that lah. Write songs about that. So I just wanted to be different. I think I noticed, like literally just now, I noticed it just clicked that me wanting to be visible and the only way to be visible is to be different, even to my family members or even to the public. So that's why I chose to not write about love songs, because if I write about love songs, I'd be just like everyone else. So I decided to write about things that affect me when I read the newspaper or online article about the war. But my first song is literally about the Israel-Palestine war. My first song when I was 17. Macam dalam banyak-banyak lagu, kau boleh tulis lagu cinta, tak ada. Kau tulis pasal tu. So macam it sort of like paved the way lah for me to like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna write love songs much. I can literally count on my fingers. It's like less than 10 songs in my entire archive of like 300 songs. Less than 10 are about love songs. And 7 of them is in an album about my divorce. So macam okay lah, less than 10, lebih kurang lah. When it comes to the music punya arrangement, where macam kejap punk, kejap mellow, kejap hip hop, semua tu kan, I think because I get bored easily as well. So macam I cannot do what people usually do, which is like a whole album of folk songs, a whole album of rock songs. Cannot. I get bored. I get myself while writing the songs. I get bored easily. So I'm just gonna like, okay, part ni dia mellow, lepas tu part ni jerit, lepas tu part ni mellow balik. It could be me of getting macam mana, relieving my boredom. 2 is trying to put as many influences I can think of in one song. Let's say for example, like right now I'm listening to Lola Young, which is like a British rock-ish singer, dengan what am I listening to? Lomba Sihir. So I'm trying to like combine those 2 artists in one song because I'm listening to them a lot this past like month, for example. So those 2, they're sort of like battling each other in each song lah. So each song has their own inspiration, like, oh, it's based on me listening to this all week, this one song all week. Yeah, but mainly it's really mainly because I get bored easily. And while doing the process, while writing, like people listen to 3 minutes of the song, but I experience 6 hours of the song. I don't experience 3 minutes of the song. Like, so within that 6 hours, I will first hour dia kerja macam ni, second hour je macam ni, third hour je macam ni. So that's why the compilation of the 6 hours became that haphazard, hectic, chaotic 3 minutes. I think lah. Is that,
Makes a lot of sense.
kan?
I feel like
That's an interesting question.
I feel like you're not I want to say you're brainwashing yourself, but then that's not it. Yeah, I think the key word here is boredom.
Yeah.
Betul lah. Because you can pick any other songs, kan? Why that? Why the Lola Young?
Lola Young.
What did you say just now?
Oh, Lola Young, yeah.
And the other one?
Lomba Sihir.
What?
The band, they are 2 different
Okay.
artists. Lomba Sihir is Indonesian, Lola Young is British.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why these 2?
Because I just chance upon them, like macam Lomba Sihir, because we went to Jogja to perform and they performed immediately after us, and I was like, oh, best ya Lomba Sihir. So I started listening to Lomba Sihir, Lola Young, because I saw reel of her song, Instagram reel of the song. I said, sedap sia lagu ni. And then I discovered she had an album, so I listened to that album. So it's just like juggling between them. Before that, I was listening to Beyonce all month long.
Imagine if you layan just out of randomness, listen to Muse and P. Ramlee,
Yeah,
and then
combined. Yeah.
just mash these 2 together.
Yes. I was also like in the midst of listening to Lola Young and Lomba Sihir, there's also a mix of keroncong in there, because that one time I went out with my partner, kita buka radio, tengok radio Best FM dekat Selangor, and it was just like playing keroncong non-stop. I was like, fuck, sedap sial keroncong ni, and we just enjoy because my partner really likes classic songs. So dia suka dengar Ahmad Jaiz apa semua tu, lagu-lagu lama like the 60s 70s lah. So their influence, their music influence sort of influenced me, and it just so happens that we listen to keroncong, and then it was like malam vibes, and then dengar keroncong. Dia macam, you know when you listen to a song and it just like fits the moment and the surroundings so well that it became like this like core memory. Like macam that song became a core memory.
Yeah, it
and
becomes your anthem.
Yeah, it becomes the anthem. The thing is, that whole genre of keroncong became like a sort of like our anthem. Like malam-malam punya like road trip ke drive kan, dengan keroncong saya, and I was just hooked. So kita like since that night, whenever we had like a long road trip kan, pasang keroncong playlist. Cuma kita nak jumpa playlist keroncong from Indonesia. We haven't found like Malaysian keroncong. just as much as tu like classic keroncong kan. Tak jumpa lagi. Yeah.
I met a keroncong musician, like a second generation.
Oh.
He plays the double bass. So they have like and they call themselves Orkes Keroncong, because I did a mapping project in Melaka. So I met a few of them, old timers lah, and I heard their songs kan. I always listen to keroncong. I mean, not always. Like when I listen to keroncong, I always think that it's just this type, like yang mainstream keroncong, whatever that means. But when I heard them, these are like Javanese / Portuguese influenced people, and when they say their keroncong is pure kan, it's just, it transports you to, because when I was doing my mapping, I get to see where they work, where they live, their cemeteries, where they used to fish because of the reclamation kan. And all of a sudden it became an anthem.
Ooh.
Because you're at that place, it's this place called the Praia Lane. So oh god, I forgot his name. I met him last week. So he was like, this is where I grew up, blah blah. And all of a sudden kan, you hear this song in your head, like keroncong fits Melaka very well.
Kan.
Like, wow.
It's like the soundtrack of Melaka,
Yeah.
right?
Where am I going with this?
Music, creative so.
Oh yeah, your what drives you kan? So now you create. Now you create your music. You have all these bipolar music. What now? How? I mean, I know you've been traveling and performing, and things are good. Is this like? Is this going to be normalized?
What is?
This type of creative process. Do you see this? Like, or are you the only one who's doing this? Because macam I don't see people in Malaysia lah creating music like you.
Like how specifically?
Sekejap. I mean, I'm my experience of music of your music is very limited. Apa yang ada, whatever, because I know your band, kan. So I listen to like the soundtrack of Imaginur, what you have with Ultimate.
Oh yeah, Janji.
I feel like these are very different things, and all your songs yang whatever snippets I can find in TikTok, in Instagram. Macam if before I meet you, like if I listen to this from my previous perspective, I don't see this thing macam boleh ke market benda macam ni. But I guess you're living proof.
Yeah.
Oh, that one really a question.
How to market this, right?
Yeah.
It's unmarketable in the mainstream
Kan.
platform. Yes. But again, I think I've moved past wanting to market on mainstream since like 2014 probably. And that was when our first album came out, Hikayat Perawan Majnun. Everything on the album is not marketable on radio at all, I dare say, especially at that time. I'm not saying it's ahead of its time. It's just radio had a different thing in mind. I think they were either rock kapak or hip hop or ballad. It's either those three. It's always the three rotation lah. In Malaysian radio, it's either rock kapak, ballad or hip hop. Probably sprinkle a little bit of pop. But also at the same time, I sort of know the trajectory of online streaming, because we're talking about 2013, 2014, still early Spotify days. Online streaming is starting out. Macam Spotify, Apple Music semua baru start. Apple Music pun tak ada lagi betul, just iTunes. And now people can just listen to songs on TikTok. Like people, it got to a point where I see a lot of TikTok artists. They have great songs, but they have to promote the same song. They have to make like at least like 10 videos of the same song and promote it non-stop before the song gets a release on Spotify platform. That song has to be viral first before it gets released. It's very tiring. Even though that is what Malaysia has been doing. Macam a single is being promoted for 2 months straight, and then sometimes the artist like hilang. Whereas zaman dulu, like I understand the transition between, if we're going to go like by history, and the history is macam, let's say Anwar Zain buat album. Sorry Anwar Zain, tiba petik nama dia. Anwar Zain buat album. Dia keluarkan 3 single. People will only buy the album to listen to the 3 songs. People won't listen to the other songs. People assume that sebab the other songs are not being heard on the radio as much, so they don't focus on the 3 songs. They just skip that song and they just listen to the main singles. So that's why the whole Malaysian industry pivot to only releasing singles and not even albums anymore. Because what's the point of making 10 songs if people are just going to listen to 3? Whereas people like Taylor Swift or Beyonce, they still have I think they still have the significance in the music industry for them to be able to release albums and people listen to every song in the album. They can release 3 singles, yes, but people still listen to albums on Spotify, and that's very hard to do. And so that, American industry aside, there's also a divide between mainstream Malaysian and independent Malaysian scene. Independent scene, nak tak nak, we have to release a body of work, whether it's an EP of 4 or 5 songs or a whole album of 7 to 10 songs. Because when organizers call us to perform, we have to perform minimum 15 to 20 minutes, so we have to have at least 3 to 4 songs to perform. Whereas mainstream artists, you can perform 1 song, the only song that you have, and then 2 cover songs, and that's it. You get paid for, sometimes you get paid for performing that 1 song. So indie artists, kita orang nak tak nak mereka survive, we make more songs lah, so that we get called to gigs and more to festivals. Festivals lagi lah, you cannot willy-nilly cover, like you cannot just have 2 original songs and then 5 cover songs lah, because it's like macam buat apa panggil kau tu, buat panggil like original bands. So we thrive on original songs. So with that, I feel like that's why fortunately or unfortunately, I'm happy to be in the independent scene still, because the community, either the consumer or the artists themselves, we encourage each other to have original material, because that's what the consumers want to listen. Yes, there are a bunch of like cover gigs where macam the gigs have bands covering songs, but I'm thankful to be able to not grow up or debut in that timeline. We debut around 2013 macam tu. If I debut around 2020, I think I have to do more cover songs than I do, doing originals. So there's that macam, there's phases and shifts even in, dah ada segregate lagi, like even more segregation. So I don't know where I'm going with this. Did I answer the question? What was the
I
question?
think you took me like to
A whole roller coaster.
of marketing.
Oh yes,
Music
yes.
marketing 101.
Yes, whether or not I can market my songs, right?
Yeah.
so macam
this
tu lah.
answers it. Yeah. So much work.
So much work.
And you're independent. Independent meaning you have to do everything lah.
Yeah.
There was one interview I heard, like in a record store, of you, and you were saying that you had an agent,
Oh yes, booking agent.
booking agent. So you still have that service right now.
We sort of, I think in a way sort of lah, sebab macam booking agent. Okay, kat Malaysia, we don't have a strong enough ecosystem for music. Whereas dekat my booking agent is he's in Amsterdam. He's based in Amsterdam.
Oh.
There's a lot of music festivals. You know, Europe is basically a flat land where you can just like travel from one country to another naik kereta. Whereas Malaysia, for you to go to another country pun kena fly kadang. Nak pergi Sabah Sarawak pun kena naik kapal terbang.
In Sabah, you think you're in another country. You're still in Sabah.
Itulah. So macam for us to travel around the sea region, SEA region, it's not as easy as you are if you were to travel in Europe. Europe like you can go by land, by sea semua tu. So that also affects the market tau. That's why music thrives there easier than macam even in SEA, kita punya market is music market is very divided. Sebab itulah costly lah nak fly. Okay, so we have a booking agent there. And the booking agent kerja dia book cari ni je. Kerja dia literally to sell us to festivals, to music directors or to macam book lah diorang ni, they would fit your festival this year because your festival this year tema dia ialah world music. Okay, book diorang best. So kerja dia main jual kita orang je. And kalau diorang tak dapat jual kita orang, they won't get money. So macam that's how it is lah. So even if they don't sell us, it's fine. Because the way for them to sell us pun, we have to have new material. So that sort of like encourages us to put out new material as well. Sebab kalau tak, kita orang tak ada gig kat sana. Sebab tu our agent selalu tanya macam, kalau korang ada material baru, please beritahu so that I can promote to the festivals, kata dia orang ni ada benda baru. Whereas Malaysia, ada benda baru ke tak ada benda baru?
Kenapa dia tidak jadi macam tu sini ya?
Sebab Malaysia relies heavily on nostalgia, unfortunately. Rock kapak ke balada ke, especially rock kapak lah. And for some reason that spills onto the listeners as well. So macam you can call Hujan or Pop Shavit or The Times, walaupun diorang dah lama gila tak keluar material baru, you can still call these old bands to play their old songs because nostalgia. Padahal ada banyak lagi band baru yang ada material baru, you wouldn't call them into your festival or your gigs because these big boys, you know, bukanlah fat cats, these big boys, these old people, these old ties so called, they will kononnya bring the crowd in. Padahal macam, diorang dah lama gila sial tak keluar, dah berapa tahun dah diorang tak keluar benda baru, kau panggil diorang lagi buat apa? So it's I think it's something that we tak kisahlah mainstream ke tak mainstream, should collectively learn from other countries lah. You know, organisers here especially should learn from other countries where kalau nak panggil orang, macam kalau kau nak buat gig, call the newcomers that have new materials. Or kalau kau nak call band lama boleh, as long as dia ada new material. Like Mazrul ada new material. Hujan punya last material, I really can't remember when, but it's been a while. But at least not as old as like Pop Shavit or The Times. I'm sorry, but I'm really sorry, but why?
I mean,
itulah.
There was the Kepchi
Festival
in KK
Okay.
baru-baru.
Yeah.
Ini search
Nostalgia.
kan? And I guess it happens rarely. I mean now it's like now we have the Sabah International Convention Center. So I think that's the name. Makin banyak concerts lah. But before this the infrastructure is so it was hard for us to enjoy concerts. And siapa-siapa datang we just go. So even like that lah, yang Amy Search datang, it was celebrated. And I'm like, okay lah. I mean I don't hate it, but I'm just like, because it's an array of new and old juga lah. So I guess it's okay. And I mean I love it, but like you said, we want the new. And I guess to enjoy the new you need to gamble a bit.
Yes.
Yeah,
The organisers have to
because
risk.
of this nostalgia element. We cannot. This is where you come in. Like nostalgic, and then you have like, you remember like everyone wants to make a remake of the old song.
Oh yes.
Or it sounds like this old song, but it's actually new. And your stuff is like totally like, what is this? We're not exaggerating if you say you're ahead of your time, because I don't see this happening. Like that's why I said, are you normalizing this? Are you pioneering? Are you the new weird? Something like that.
I wish to be. Like, it's not my place to say that I'm pioneering it. It's really someone else's.
Because I mean, look at you.
Gabu Cat Hotel. This is actually a cat hotel. It's a meme, but also like an actual cat hotel. Okay, never mind. Not sponsored lah.
You're promoting this look and that attitude online and that music that you have, and in Sabah, my circle, I'm a lot more, I guess, mainstream people yang suka dengar lagu-lagu nostalgic. After Imaginur, they're like, yang ni pun best lah. They're like, because you are in cinemas, because you are in radio, now it's like, that's why it brings back to the question, is this now normalized? I don't know.
I understand. Tapi like I said earlier, I think people will always see me behind the screen. I'm always a freak show behind the screen. I think for them to macam mana, emotionally connect with me or physically connect with me is for them to spend hours with me and understand why I am the way I am. Because most of them just see this as, oh, Taka is a very outspoken person, but some of them probably don't understand the nuances or the how I get to be this outspoken. That history of, the journey of me having to be outspoken, because, and I think if everyone go through the same journey as I did, everyone would be just the same, like outspoken juga. But because they see the end product, which is macam, oh, Taka bebel pasal Muhyiddin ke apa kan. Petik. Taka bebel pasal this prime minister, that thing ke apa. They just like, oh yes, I agree, like, comment, yes, queen, dah habis. They wouldn't carry the conversation to their friends. They wouldn't be vocal about it the way I've been vocal about it. But I hope to be an inspiration lah. Macam one can only hope to be an inspiration without pushing it. Macam, if I can be useful, I want to be an inspiration. I know I'm useless, but if 1% of the time I can be useful to one person who is inspired by him too, then I'm thankful. Thank you to that one person who is like macam aku nak jadi macam Taka, aku nak jadi macam outspoken macam Taka. Boleh.
We're talking about you, Ate.
Macam tu lah. So I wouldn't say I can normalize this because people still see me as a different creature
I hope you do.
altogether. I hope to. But I always see myself as a different creature, and I think people see me as a different creature as well.
How long do you want to be like this?
A different creature?
No. Yeah, a different creature. Yeah.
I think for as long as I live. I don't think I'll ever revert back to normal. What is normal? Normal is boring. I cannot be bored.
See, you're normalizing this.
I cannot be. I mean, I'm normalizing it within myself. I wish I can normalize being weird within a community. Like macam I can brainwash the next generation to be weird.
I hope the next time I come to KL and Lepak Central Market, there'll be 10 like you out there. Like,
I don't know if that's a good thing.
I mean, first they want to be like you. They're your fans. Then they'll find their own niche, I guess.
Yes.
Then there'll be a new weird.
Yes. Yes. I want that. I want to like sort of like an Arab Spring but Taka Spring. Something like that lah.
I guess that's a nice closing. Kan?
Taka Spring.
Taka Spring.
That sounds so wrong, but okay.
Okay, I just saw that. Okay. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay lah. How do you end this? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let's relate back to Sabahans.
Okay.
When are you doing a show in CKK? Datang ba?
The only way for me to do a show is for someone to invite me. So please invite me. Kalau TVS is going to be expensive, I know Viona is cheaper. Invite Viona alone. My sister lives there, I can crash her house.
Emmanuel Chi, Chris Pereira, siapa lagi? All of the above lah. I hope you guys are watching.
Please invite me. If you're not afraid of weird.
So, any last words?
Any last words? It's like I'm dying.
For Sabahan fans.
For Sabahan fans.
Saya tidak mewakili orang Sabah.
Okay.
Because I don't think Sabahan knows me. But
stand up and
lantak
gain
lah.
independence from the federal government.
wow.
Tak adalah. I mean, no words. I think just something that I would always go to, which is if you have any problem, don't carry it alone. Share it with someone that cares about you. If you cannot find a person that can share it with you, there's always people online who you can share it with. And I'm talking about like you know, when it comes to like sexuality punya repression apa semua tu. I know like some, you know, families don't accept your sexuality ke apa, or your religion ke apa.
It's still taboo in
Yes, the taboo things you can find a support group online. But don't trust like one guy online. That is a predator. I'm talking about a support group, not a support person. Okay, there's a difference there. So yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's a weird that's a weird closing the macam. Yeah. Mental health.
It fits because yeah, I always like any closing remarks. Oh, my IG is this. my
Tak
yeah,
payah
so
lah.
this is good. This is great.
Yeah.
Takahara Suiko, thank you very much.
Thank you, Harold. Where call you Harold or
Everyone calls me Egan.
Egan?
Yeah, it's short for Reagan.
Okay.
My
Short
name-
for?
Reagan.
Reagan.
My name is Harold Reagan Ishwar.
Oh, ya ke?
Yeah, so it's a very stressful name. because 3 of these names are like besar-besar punya benda, and I don't think I'm leaving it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again. For having me.
So, we want to thank Ilham again.
Yes,
for this
thank you,
venue
Ilham.
and the tea.
Thank you again for the tea. I've been drinking tea non-stop.
And this has been a sip show, sipping. And out of my responsibility towards my crew, I want you guys to please subscribe to the channel. Before this, I don't give up whatever lah, mau subscribe ke tidak, but there is a need for us to expand.
KPI.
I guess.
Uh,
Yeah, and subscribe, like, comment, share those things, and I'll see you on the next episode lah. Ciao. Bye.
ah. Hey,
That was very good.
that was fun.
Yeah. I didn't know we had so many things in common.